こいつは生意気なのさ。俺の前でもずいぶん大口叩いたよね、麦わら。
お前が一体何になるのか、もう一度言ってみろ。
ゴムゴムのヘッドロック。
お前が殴り倒されるなんて。
俺はモンキー D ルフィ超えて海賊王になる男だ。
You should never judge a book by its cover, especially those goofy, playful anime characters, because when it really matters, they turn out to be the scariest ones. From harmless goofballs to shockingly powerful fighters, these are the moments when goofy anime characters got dead serious.
ゴン、お前の覚悟を見せてもらおうか。もしもそれがふぬけた一発なら。
本気でいいの？
ふざけんな！
最悪。
ゴン、もう十分だ。
キルはサンキュー。本当に殺しちゃう男だった。
We start this list with Gon. When Morel doubted his power, Gon didn't argue or try to defend himself. He simply showed it. In that instant, the cheerful boy everyone knew was gone. It was the first sign that Gon isn't just strong. He's capable of going far beyond what anyone expects, especially when something he cares about is on the line.
このクズ野郎。俺はフリーザー。
Next on the list is Goku. When Frieza pushed him past his breaking point, Goku gave us one of the most iconic transformations in all of anime. When Frieza wiped out Krillin, Goku's calm snapped and he couldn't hold back anymore. In a single moment, the carefree, easygoing Saiyan everyone knew was replaced by someone entirely different. Goku turning into a Super Saiyan didn't just change the fight, it set the standard for every anime transformation that came after. When Yuji confronted Mahito, it became one of the rawest turning points for our JJK main character. After watching someone he cared about get taken from him, the lighthearted, optimistic Yuji we knew vanished instantly. What followed wasn't hesitation or fear. It was a cold, focused determination that even Mahito couldn't ignore. And when it looked bad for Yuji, that's exactly when he pushed past his limits and went all in.
伏線を狙って出せる奴はいない。時間差で認めるよ、真人。 俺はお前だ。俺はお前を否定したかった。お前の言ったことなんて知らねえよって。今は違う。ただお前を殺す。地位呪いとして生まれたらそいつも殺す。もう意味も理由もいらない。それがこの戦いの俺の役割なんだ。
Yuji's words, I am you, mark the peak of their ideological clash. Mahito always claimed that Yuji's instinct to save people was no different from his own instinct to kill them. And after Nanami's death, Yuji finally accepted it. In that moment, he embraced his role as a sorcerer, to hunt curses, no matter how many times they return. The snowy landscape made it clear, the roles had reversed, and Mahito was now the one being hunted.
喉が潰れても知らんぞ。こっからここまでの間に恩師を少し長いな。喉が潰れても知らんぞと。あと千里戻ってザクと暴言。やれやれ殺すか。腕で払ったの。腕が重くなったろ。おれ真っ二つ。
What you just witnessed was the power of Ichibei from Bleach. He isn't dangerous because of brute force. His ability works on a completely different level. He can weaken his enemies by changing the very names that define their power. That's also a reason why he is called the monk who calls the real name. With a single stroke of his brush, he can strip away strength, erase abilities, or alter what an opponent is capable of. And that's exactly what he did to Yuha Va, cutting his power in half. And when he unleashed his Bankai, things escalated even further.
一文字。名を半分に切る墓。私のこので何かね。一文字に塗りつぶされた者は名を失う。ならば貴様の力も奪ってくれる。貴様の黒も。わしの力は黒。この世界のあらゆる黒はわしのものじゃ。名をつけてやろう。挽回ということになるんかの。真知白筆一文字。この刀は刻み込むことができる。かつてユーハバッハだった黒アリよ。そして恩師の命運もここまで。さらば。
Ichibei's Bankai was absolutely insane. He renamed his enemy into Black Ant, and in that moment, Yuha Va's strength dropped to the level of the name he was given, and with that, Ichibei just crushed him, effortlessly. Speaking of unleashing their power, we've got a moment from Naruto, a moment where someone had to step up to Madara when no one else could, and that someone was Might Guy. Usually loud, cheerful, and goofy in the way he celebrates the power of youth, Guy is often treated as comic relief. But in this battle, all of that disappeared the moment he opened the 8 gates.
柱間以来だ。このワクワクは。このチャクラ認めてやろう。お前を最強と呼んでやる。早い。何？
Next on our list, we got Zenitsu. He is one of those characters every opponent loves to underestimate. When he confronts an enemy, he's a literal crybaby, shaking, panicking like it's the end for him, but that's exactly what makes his serious moments so insane. Because when the fear finally overwhelms him and he slips into that unconscious state, Zenitsu becomes a completely different person, and against the tongue demon, we saw just how terrifying that switch can be.
雷の呼吸、一の型。
これ何これやだありがとう助かったよ
前頭よーしつかみは大失敗だ止めて俺と戦ってみようよ
好きだらけ
顔面かよまずは遠距離持ちからだよね
だよ1年も今日の下でインターンに励みここ
Mirio from My Hero Academia is a perfect example of why first impressions can be completely misleading. When he first walked into Class 1A with the other top students, everyone thought he was a total goof, someone who didn't take anything seriously. But the moment he challenged the entire class on his own, everything changed. What looked like a joke turned into a demonstration of pure skill, experience, and control. Mirio didn't just beat Class 1A, he ran through them without even breaking a sweat. In that moment, it became obvious why he isn't just one of UA's big three. He's the one who comes closest to the #1 hero spot, even when compared to actual pro heroes.
びっくりさせんなよ
バカな
プラスチックの感触だった
次は首を落としてやろう
いてこの社会人は暇じゃねえんだよおじゃあ姉ちゃんうわ悪霊かあれやけに軽いなゆるキャラかてめえはレーゲンさんって本物
調子に乗んなよ
最新の立体映像ってやつか
化け物かこの男は
手品使ってたなペテン師集団め大人に任しとけシャボン玉か
500キロタックルドンパンチ
け上乗ったまま喋んじゃねえよそれとだなガスマスクを外しなさいそいや
死ね
募集する
Reagan from Mob Psycho is the definition of a fraud. A guy with zero psychic powers pretending to be the greatest exorcist in the city. Most people see him as a joke, someone who talks big but can't actually do anything. So when he suddenly received overwhelming power from Mob, the reaction of everyone around him was priceless. They couldn't believe what was happening. Everyone except Mob, of course, who praised him like always, convinced his master was operating on a completely different level. At the same time, Reagan stayed perfectly in character, talking down to the enemy like he was dealing with a bunch of misbehaving kids. And the way he wiped the floor with them made the moment genuinely epic. He was flexing on a different level, pure aura.
体力も徐々に減っている
うるせえもう終わりなのか戦いはい
やまだだパワーを引き出せ
いけた だったらこっちも切り札を使うぜ。マジ殴り。
俺は敗れたのか。
やっぱ強えよお前。
Saitama vs. Boros was one of the few moments where Saitama actually got a little serious. Saitama usually never takes anything seriously and always keeps the same poker-faced expression, no matter how dangerous the situation looks. But Boros was different. He pushed Saitama far enough to break that calm a bit. Saitama even got annoyed by his talking and told him to stop. And when he used his final attack called Serious Punch for the first time, it made the moment truly special and absolutely deserving of a spot on our list.
時に対抗できるのは光しかない。取った。
君では私に勝てないよ。
この速さにもついてくるのか。
返すよ。
僕の魔法を加速させた。この男の強さはどこだ。この男のグリモワールは
あそこだよ。
Julius from Black Clover is a special kind of character. To the outside world, he's the Wizard King, calm, composed, and carrying the overwhelming aura of a man at the top of the kingdom. But behind the scenes, he's the exact opposite. Goofy, curious like a kid, and obsessed with discovering every new form of magic he can find. So when he faced Licht, it was the moment where that playful side vanished completely. Julius revealed the true power of the Wizard King. Time magic used with impossible speed, precision, and control. His movements looked effortless, but every second was calculated and deadly.
お前の仲間はもう助からん。
けなきゃ。
何をされた。
助けなきゃ。助けなきゃ。
Kenji always gives off the vibe of a harmless, cheerful farmer, smiling, polite, and never looking like someone you should fear. But when he gets angry, he taps into the force of Mother Nature itself. He becomes like an eruption, and who could possibly stop that? That sudden shift from gentle to unstoppable is what makes his serious moments hit so hard.
くたびれたぜ、銀時。
The fight between Gintoki and Takasugi is where all the comedy disappears. Two men who once fought side by side now clash with everything they have. Gintoki drops the goofy attitude completely, fighting with a seriousness we almost never see from him. And Takasugi meets him head on, driven by years of anger and rivalry. Every strike feels personal and filled with history. That's what makes this battle one of the most intense moments in the series.
買うか。待て。なんやその速度。
違和感は持っとった。いつの間にかあいつに惹かれて。
みんなも黙っててごめん。俺だって防衛隊の今度は
When the whole city was in danger because of a massive bomb, Kafka had no choice but to unleash his true power. The thing is, he's usually the goofy guy no one ever takes seriously, the last person you'd expect to save the day. But in that moment, he had to reveal the truth that he's one of the very monsters threatening humanity. When he transformed in front of his squad, the shock on their faces said everything.
逃がさない。死ね。メギド。
死者4214、5575。
一体何が起きておるというのだ。魔物の国の主なのか。
町を襲撃した異世界人か。
中身は違う。
違いないな。
魔物の国になど手を出したのが間違いだった。
Rimuru is probably one of the kindest main characters you'll ever see. He's not the type to start a fight, but when his people were slaughtered and an entire army was responsible, that kindness disappeared instantly. He wiped out the entire army by himself, without hesitation, without mercy. And through this overwhelming act, he evolved into a demon lord, one of the strongest beings in his world.
領域展開、無料空所。
Gojo from JJK is probably one of the coolest and strongest teachers in all of anime. Because he's the strongest sorcerer, he usually toys with his enemies and nothing ever reaches his level. But when the lives of innocent people were in danger, we saw Gojo serious for the first time. He rescued every civilian in just 0.2 seconds, a moment that showed exactly why no one in this world can keep up with him. Remember in the beginning when Morel doubted Gon's power? He would have destroyed him if Killua hadn't stopped him. But this time, no one stopped him.
殺さなきゃいけない。嘘つき。
なんだこれは。
もうこれで終わってもいい。ありったけを。
こいつの牙は王にも届き得た。
貴様。
Gon vs. P2 is one of the darkest moments in Hunter x Hunter. Gon, who was always cheerful, kind, and full of hope, completely broke the moment he accepted that Kite was gone. All that innocence disappeared in an instant, replaced by a terrifying resolve. Gon didn't care about winning or surviving. He only wanted enough power to erase P2, and in that form, he wasn't the kid we knew anymore. Garp is one of the goofiest legends in One Piece. Always laughing, throwing cannonballs by hand, and acting like nothing ever bothers him. But when Kobe was in danger, that's when everything changed. Garp got serious. His galaxy impact was one of the craziest entrances we've ever seen, a reminder of why he's called the hero of the Marines. And after witnessing that kind of power, you can't help but wonder, why didn't he go this far for Ace? If you made it all the way here, drop a crew comment or let me know which moment I missed for a part 2. Now enjoy Garp wiping the floor with Aokiji.